Okay, we're going to clip today. With our clippers, we're going to be using a number 7. 7 is the shortest blade that I like to use on the body. I don't like to go shorter than a 7. A number shorter than a 7 is a 10. We used that yesterday to hold your blade. So I said yesterday, really light handling, not like this. If you are holding your clippers like this, you can't feel if the dog had a little wart or something on their body, or a little bone, you know, they've got a bone here or the ear or something like that. If you're holding the clippers like this, you can't feel the little things. It's unsafe and it will be uncomfortable for the dog. If you're holding your clippers like this lightly and they're just gliding over the dog, it's a lot safer. You'll feel every small thing. I recommend that you do this along your arm. You can feel the little bumps, and this is a really gentle sort of feeling. This, I'm applying more force even without trying. So really gentle with your dogs for their comfort, but also for the safety aspect. Now, every dog has a grain, which is the direction that the hair's growing in. So you'll hear me refer to the grain. I did on the first day when we were talking about shaving the face, but I'm just going to go through that in more detail now. So the dog's hair grows in this direction down their back. It sweeps in this direction over their rib cage, and then that follows to their flank, and then across their thigh like this, and straight down the leg, straight down the front leg. The grain goes like this in this direction, and then behind the ear the grain goes like this and down the front leg, and on the chest it's straight down. You'll see me when I'm clipping, I'm always with the grain. The only time that we go against the grain is on the face and on the base of the tail that we're going to do later, but all the rest of the time I'll be with the grain on the body, holding the clippers lightly. The clippers need to sit down like this on the dog's skin, not up like that and not up like this. The point is designed to glide along the dog's skin like that and pick up the hair. The hair travels up this little conveyor belt and gets cut by that cutter. So to get a smooth trim, we need these spikes going along the skin so that the hair can all be at the same length, being cut all at the same length. Now this is going to look short, and number 7 is what we use to sneak underneath matting, to take matting off. When we start to talk about the longer blades in my other videos, we'll need to have no matting on the dogs. But to 7, this is just a basic trim for dogs that are really curly, a dog that you just want to have short. Yeah, and if you're dealing with matting, always a 7. You won't be able to get anything longer through anyway. So we'll start. I'm holding my blade flat. Obviously, Dusty's really clean. We did 2 shampoos and dried her really carefully. So it's just sliding through like butter. She doesn't have any matting or any curling. And I'm going with the grain. Now I can do the top just to stay out of your way for the video, but it will be unsafe if I don't come around. So, okay, Dusty, good girl. So the grain, you can see the hair's growing in this direction, but then it starts to turn and the hair's growing down there. Now, we're coming up to a danger point, or a couple of danger points that I want to talk about. The first one is this flank. Now this is dangerous because the 7, that skin there could slide into the 7 and we could cut it. So I'll put my hand behind the flank and just clip over the top, making sure that you're going down like this, never sideways. That's how you'll hurt your dog. And we're just going to go off that edge there. Now when we come here, even though the grain is going down, we're not going to follow down because we could pick up this piece of skin with the edge of our clippers there. So I'm just going to come out. Dusty's a little bit older, so she's got lots of lots of this. On a younger dog, they might just have a tiny little tuck there, but Dusty's getting on in age a bit now. The grain goes down the leg here. Really light with your handling. She's got a lovely big muscle there. We don't want to bump into it too hard. She's got bones here, and obviously the hock, we just want to gently glide off. Injuries can happen there, so just gentle bump over. Now, here's another, my blade's getting a little bit hot. I'll just change that. Okay, another danger point is this underarm here. There's a flap of skin, which you can see it there. If I went straight down, I can catch it there at the elbow. A lot of injuries happen here, so it's okay. So Dusty's just tensing up. I'm not going to pull her because that's just going to add to the situation. I'll just give her a minute. And then she calms down. She was feeling unstable because she wasn't sure if I was going to pick up her leg, so she got all tense. But you just go slow. Now she's fine again. It's okay. So with my hand under there, I'm going to just gently go off the edge. Now these areas, I'm just going over them gently. We're going to fix all this up with our number 10. Remember, the number 10 is the safe blade. And whenever we get in anywhere that's a bit tricky, we go down to our 10, and it really takes down that risk of injury, of the skin getting inside the blade and cutting the dog. It's okay. Now, I'm going to lift up Dusty's leg. It's okay, and give her a moment to just readjust because she's standing on 3 legs now, so we'll give her a minute. Okay. Good girl. You're okay, Dusty. The grain's going down, so I'm going to very gently go down, not holding like this and bumping over her little bones because that will make her feel uncomfortable. I'm just holding her foot gently. Now, if your dog is pulling away from you, you don't pull back on the dog because you'll frighten the dog. You let the dog take their arm, but you just continue clipping. Now, this is where you probably will run into some issues with handling. Dusty's very experienced, so she's not playing up too much, but you might have a dog that's, got their leg right back like this and they're really fighting you. Now, what you don't want to do while the dog's pulling away, you don't want to turn the clippers off. You want the dog to feel like they're not going to achieve any results by pulling away. We're not going to challenge them by pulling their leg, but we are going to continue. And what will be communicated to the dog during that is, I'm not going to hurt you. I'm going to be gentle with you. This isn't going to escalate into a fight, but I'm also not going to stop, and you're safe. Don't pat your dog and tell them that they're good while they're pulling away. Now that you're a home groomer, you're going to have to learn a lot of the handling that salon groomers have learned over years and years. So clipping down the legs, that's where you'll start to run into some obstacles with your dog, and potentially when clipping their face as well. So we're just gentle handling, but persevere, not patting during, as I pat Dusty, not patting the dog while they're moving around. Okay, so I think, did I finish? It's okay. You're okay. So there's lots of bumps down the leg. There's a pastern here. If you're holding your clippers gently, it's okay to just bump over the pastern. Okay. Good girl. On this back leg, this is the hock. This is the hock bone that runs down and runs off the foot. Now there's a little dip in here. You can push that through the other side. Take that little piece off. Very careful of this. I always hold my hand over that webbing there so that I don't catch it when I go down the front of the leg. Good girl, Dusty. And inside the leg. Okay, next we're going to do under Dusty's arms. This is a danger point, and then we're going to do her flank, which is another danger point. Now, I'm going to really stress now that we need to always use a 10 when going in these areas. This is really dangerous. If you have your 7 on at this time, you will injure your dog. It's almost guaranteed. Now, when you buy your clippers, they should have a 10 on them. It's the most common blade, and the 10 is the safe blade. If you forget everything else that I've said during this video, please remember that. The 10 is the safe blade, and if you ever feel unsure, just do it with the 10. I don't want anyone's poodles to be hurt. It will hurt your dog and will probably frighten you off picking the clippers back up again. So 10. Okay. Good girl, good girl. To get underneath the dog's arm, I find students lift up the leg like that, but we can't access right underneath with the leg up like that. If you think about your own arm, if I go like this, you can't access my underarm. We need to lift the elbow up. So this is Dusty's elbow up here. We need to lift this out to the side. It's okay, good girl. So that we can see underneath her arm. I've got my 10 on. Now there's a cave under there, it's quite deep. With Dusty, if I put my finger in, my whole finger disappears in under her arm. This is where we're going with the blade, right up there. It's like a cave. So the whole blade won't fit inside there. We're just using the corners of the blade to pick out that area. Don't go down onto her chest, because when we put her leg down, you'll be able to see it if you've gone right out here. Sometimes you can see a little spot at the back when the dog's walking. And then we'll just, now that I can see exactly where that web of skin is, I'm going to finish off with the 7. We don't want a 7 in here, just around the outside. As I do that, I can see there's still a little bit under the arm, so I'm going to go back in with the 10 actually. There's still a bit of a, it's like Bon Jovi in there. Come here. Good girl. Okay. Dusty. So that's a bit awkward, but it's important. In Australia, this is where we get grass seeds and ticks under the arm. It's a friction area. It will get a mat, and then the grass seed will go into the mat. So now flank. We've clipped the outside with a 7. We're going to lift up Dusty's knee. That blade's a little bit warm. I've just changed the blade. You can also buy cooling spray to spray on your clippers if you only have 110 as an option. You'll find that at your grooming supplies. Lift up Dusty's knee. Now I'm going to wait a moment for her to shift her balance onto the other leg. You don't pull their leg up and frighten them. We also don't want to overextend her leg out to the side. We need to support Dusty's knee and just give her time to shuffle her weight over. You also don't want to take the whole weight of the dog on your shoulder, because I'm going to bend down now to look inside there. So I'm supporting Dusty's knee, and we're going to go in with the 10 and clear away her groin. Now if you've got a little dog, you can just hold them up. I'll demonstrate that. Very careful here, this is the danger. Now we've also got Dusty's vulva here. It needs to be mentioned. You can cut a dog's vulva if you go from the back. It actually opens at the back. So we want to just stay on the side where there's minimal danger. Always using your 10. Very gentle handling there on each side, not going in the back. I'll turn Dusty around to do the other side of her groin. Okay. Okay. Now we're going to work on Dusty's back end. Make sure that your blade is really cool doing this. It's a sensitive area. I'm going to get a new blade. Definitely good girl, good girl. So with poodles, we shave the base of their tail so that they can have the pom on their tail. We do this against the grain, and it matches the face and the feet. We'll be doing the feet next. So some groomers, so back in the day we used to dock all of the poodles' tails and they would have a little ball. Now that we don't dock anymore, we can't get full circle because we've got quite a long tail, and the shape becomes more like an oval. So to combat that, some groomers just shave tail right up to here and put a little pom-pom on the end like a strange palm tree or a lollipop or something like that. It unbalances the dog and it's really not graceful at all. It's actually a bit comical. I don't like to do that myself. So all you need to do is change the idea of the ball to an oval and it will work. So we just shave a small amount like we used to when the tails were docked. So against the grain here. Now, we do a little triangle up here. It's a bit of a traditional thing. So I've got a V there. Now, while the blade's still cold, I'm going to shave her anus. Now, we go side to side here. I've found through experience that if you go up, the first thing the dog will do is sit down and you can give them a little graze that way. So it's better to go side to side. There are little creases here that can be cut and you can injure your dog really easily. So side to side and very, very gentle here, very gentle with the clippers. Okay, I'm actually going to change blades now because I really want a cold blade to just finish off. Good girl, Dusty. Good girl. Now, I'm just going to make sure this is clear. Reason being, I'm going to get my 7 back out. Now, remember, the 7's a little bit more dangerous. This is a danger point and this is a danger point. I want to know exactly where they are before I go in with the 7. So here's a cold 7. And I'm just going to go with the grain, making sure that I avoid danger points. If your dog's jumping around, wait until they're still. You might need someone to help you comfort your dog and give them treats while you do this. Can be a bit hard when you're teaching your dog to stand still at home. And that's it. Now, good girl. All right, onto the feet. We're nearly there. All right, feet. Poodles don't usually like it, but the best you can hope for is for a poodle to tolerate it. Now, you need to be calm and you need to be persistent with this. This is definitely a time, I know Dusty will be fine because we've done this a lot together, but at home your dog will be jumping around maybe and your dog won't want this to happen. Don't turn off the clippers. Even if all you get done in the first few sessions is the clippers running and then rubbing it on the dog's foot, if that's as far as you can get, that's fine. Just persevere with it and eventually you'll be able to clip. So you're such a good girl. You're such a good girl. Against the grain. So I'm going to clip against the grain from the nail all the way back and I'm going to stop at the second knuckle. Now you might be surprised that a poodle foot has a second knuckle, but it's actually the hinge that the foot moves on. So the second knuckle is here. You can feel the bumps of the first knuckle and the bumps of the second knuckle. And the second knuckle is when the dog stands up. Dusty, stand up. The second knuckle is where the foot turns into the leg and it's the hinge. So what the foot will look like when we finish shaving it is we'll have a shaved foot and then a little bit longer here where we've changed to a 7. We don't do the poodle foot up here and give them army boots. It's a little bit outdated now, that style. I've got a number 30 on the blade, but I recommend that you do this with a 10 at home. Reason being that a 30 can rash your dog up. It's very short. Dusty and I have been together a long time, and we've been using a 30 for a long time, so I know that she can handle it. But just for you, you can get clipper rash on your dog's feet, so just go easy with a 10 against the grain. I'm actually going to move to a number 40 now, which is even shorter. 40 is the surgical blade. You just use your 10. It's okay. It's okay. And I'm going to start to go inside the toes. It's okay. It's okay, Dusty. She's a bit shaky because the camera, it's okay. I realise that's what's putting up. Okay, so I'm going to wrap the hair around the nail so it's all collected, and then I'm going to pick it up with the clippers. Now, your poodles' feet are webbed because they're water dogs. Like I said earlier in the video, they're water retrievers and they have webbed feet for swimming. What you don't want to do is go in, and here's her web there, and just stick this blade, 10 or whatever you've got on, into the webbing. We need to lay the clippers back so that it's going flat inside there and not making them uncomfortable. Wrap around the nail and lay the clippers back. It's okay. Good girl. It's okay. It's a camera. It's okay. It's okay. I know. It's okay. It's okay. Wrap around. Lay the clippers back. My blade's a little bit warm. I'm just going to change. It's okay, Dusty. Okay, wrap around the nail. Pick up the hair. Lay the clippers back so that you're not cutting into the web. Very clean feet and really clean around the nails, which is important. Now, underneath the foot, we'll just clear that bit. Underneath the foot, we need to clear the pad. It's okay. Now, the handling for this can be tricky. When you pick up your dog's foot, this needs to be supported, not with their leg out here so that you can see, and twisting their foot up so you can see. We want the foot underneath the dog for their comfort. This, if you do it to yourself, this can really hurt. This is actually a martial arts move, and you crush someone's joint there and they, flip around or whatever. So we don't want to do this to the dog. Now, you just need to remember, I've got a dog on 3 legs now. She needs to be treated really gently. So with your number 10 on, I've got a number 40 on. We're just going to take off this little bit above the pad, and then I'm going to go inside here. It's a V shape. I'm going to go right down, touch the bottom, and scoop the whole lot out. It's full of hair. Now, this is where dogs will get prickles, grass seeds. I've seen bubble gum in there. They get, leeches in there if you've got a bushwalking dog. It's okay, Dusty. Dusty, it's okay. Good girl. It's okay, darling. There you go. Done. Now, something a little bit extra. I'm going to get my 7, and I'm just going to take that extra short there. I know that Dusty spends a lot of time in the bush. Good girl, Dusty. A lot of time in the bush, and in Castlemaine here where we are in central Victoria, there's a lot of prickles. So I'm just going to take this edge off. I'm going to go against the grain, which is with a 7, which is going to make the hair even shorter than going with the grain, and it's just going to give it a seamless finish at the bottom for when she's walking on her block. So now we have a seamless tight. Oh, there's a little bit there. Hang on, Dusty. There. All right, I'll just do a back foot. I'm doing a 30 on top and then 40 between the toes. So again, not holding your dog's leg out too far to make them uncomfortable, and wait for them to shift their weight onto the other legs. If they're panicking, just leave the clippers on and rub the clippers on the foot and try to desensitize the dog, keeping yourself calm. Stopping at the second knuckle here. Let my fork in. Okay, wrap the hair around the nail. Scoop. Laying your clippers back so as not to cut into the web. Holding your clippers very gently so that you can feel where everything is. Good girl, you're okay. Good girl, Dusty. Now, if your dog is prone to ear infections or yeast problems, it will be red inside the pads and the dogs will be really sensitive. You can use your ear cleaner in that area to help kill the yeast germs. You can also stand them in apple cider vinegar, and there are some other home remedies for yeast, but often an ear infection will be accompanied by yeast in the feet. It'll be in the pads and between the toes. I'll just get a new 40. Okay, supporting the dog's hock. Make sure you don't overextend the leg. Scooping down right to the bottom and clearing out anything that's in there. You would be amazed the things we find inside dogs' pads, and it's really uncomfortable for them. It feels like having a stone in your shoe for the dog. So they need to be cleared out regularly. Just going to put my 7 on. You can brush up a little bit. Just not too high so that it looks strange, but just to take that edge off. And then after brushing up, I can tidy down here. Beautiful. All right, I'm just going to go on and shave the other feet, and I'll meet you back for the scissoring. Okay, I finished all of Dusty's body with the clippers, and we're on to the scissoring now. I'm just going to talk to you really briefly about, it's getting hot in here, so Dusty's puffing. I'm going to talk to you briefly about the scissors and how to hold them and what they are. You'll see me using 2 different types of scissors today. We've got straights and curves. I'm not sure how long these are. I think they're 6 inches, but don't quote me on that. Depending on how long the dog's top knot and what size dog you've got, that will determine the length of the scissors. I need this length blade to cut the front of Dusty's visor. If you had a small toy poodle, you would only need scissors that long because they've got a tiny little visor there. Same with doing the top of the head. This is a good length for a standard, but if you've got a toy, you can use smaller scissors. If you've got a big, huge top knot, like we'll be doing in some of the other videos, we get right up to 10-inch scissors, and you'll see those later. But today, we just need these smaller ones. When you're holding scissors, it's important, like as I spoke about with the clippers, it's important that you don't use force. You don't need muscles to use scissors. We hold the scissors really gently in our hand and our thumb moves up and down. We're not crunching. It's not like using kitchen scissors where you're using your strength and you're crunching through. We're using this finger here, little finger resting there, 2 fingers resting there, and a thumb. These 2 fingers and a thumb, and we're just gently moving up and down. If I use these scissors, like we would use kitchen scissors cutting through cardboard or something, you've got a lot of power behind that because these are strong fingers. Crunch, crunch. See how the scissors move? The scissors are unstable. When we're going near a dog's eyes like that, we've got moving scissors, whereas if we're like this, the scissors are very still. It's much safer and we're not using power. If I do touch a dog's ear, it's just gently going, it's not going to cut. I can feel the tiniest little thing if I'm light-handed with the equipment. So after all of that, let's start. The first cut we're going to do, always comb. Now this is where beautiful preparation is really going to come into its own. If this was all curly, we would be having a really hard time right now, but because we did our drying that I showed you, Dusty's beautiful and ready. Her parents like a really short top knot on her. As I said, she lives on acreage here in Australia and it's the middle of summer, so very short top knot for Dusty. The first cut we're going to do is straight across the front. Now, not tilting back, not tilting forward, not the dog's head back or head down, so that you can see we've got the dog's head in a natural position, and I'm just going to do one cut straight across the front. I'm going to open my blade wide and just do one cut. See, my scissors are not moving. I'll comb to check that I got it all. Yep, beautiful. All right, sides. We have the curve facing out, so we can get a nice angle here coming out. If we use straight scissors to go straight up, or a curves in like that, she'll get sort of a mohawk thing going on. I think it's really hot now. I'm not holding Dusty tight because she's puffing and I know that she won't move, but just be really careful with your dog at home. You probably need to have a really good grip on the nose. If Dusty's hot and I don't want to hold her mouth shut, but there's the angle there in line with the cheek, and the top knot comes up like that. When I've finished getting that line nice and neat, now really gentle, because if you do get the dog's face, I can feel that, and I'm not going to injure my poodle. Now I turn the scissors around and go in to give it a little curve at the top. If your dog's moving, don't go close to the eye like that. Dusty's so good for me, I can do it. Now, some groomers, you will see, if you want a notch over the ear, we would extend this line back. I don't do that with my grooming. You'll see I do my top knot here and I do it back there, and I leave that length on the top of the ear. The reason I do that is because it just gives more volume, and I was a kid in the 80s and I love a bit of volume and hairspray, so I just try and keep the sides big, and I stop my top knot there, but you're welcome to notch over. I'll just do the other side. Now, the handling changes when you're working on the other side of the dog. We wrap our arm around like that and hold. Curves facing out here. Always comb and scissor, because Poodle's coat is curly and the hairs will hide underneath. And in. Very careful above the eye there. You can get your 10 blade and gently sculpt across if you're feeling nervous about scissors in front of the eye. Only do that if your dog's calm and you're feeling confident. It's very close. I know Dusty's not going to move. We've done so many haircuts together and she's so confident. Okay, so that's the front. We're going to do the back now. Now the back shape, I've clipped, oh, look at how clean and beautiful her ear is. It's nice and fresh. So ears should smell fresh. They should be pink. No redness inside. No clumps of hair. No dirt or brown or black bits, no wax inside. So I just wiped it out with the chamois after the bath, and she's got a beautiful, beautiful clean ear. And 2 shampoos has made sure that this is all fresh. Okay, behind the ear. So I've clipped behind the ear, straight down the neck, and then across at the collar line. My dogs don't wear collars, and so I have this neck coming down quite low. But with a pet that's going to wear a collar all the time, you don't want the hair rubbing on the collar. So you look at where the collar sits. With Dusty, it's here, and I've clipped straight across the back of her mullet. We should use that word actually because it's Aussie and daggy and great. So we've left her mullet on. And now I'm going to shape it. I'll just come back to my scissors for a moment. This little part is interesting and really important when you're purchasing scissors. Make sure that you have got this on. It screws on and off. It's for your little finger to rest on, and it will just help you have control of your scissors. Otherwise your little finger floats, and it can cause a little bit of movement in your scissors. So when you purchase scissors, make sure they've got it on. I can move mine. Good girl, we nearly finished. Okay, I'm just going to blend this length in using my curves so that it sits flush against her neck so that it's seamless. And on the other side. Good girl. Done. Now, she's got a cowlick right there. Now, combing up, flicking the hair up. I'm going to just tidy now. Look, this top knot is so short that I don't want to take more length off this, but I'm just going to tidy it because it's a bit fluffy. So I'm just going to really gently glide across. Now, not pecking in and out like that because you'll get an uneven finish. We want the hand really steady. Last bit, Dusty. Good girl. I'm going to go and have some ice cream. Good girl. Good girl. Gliding across. Now, poodles have a pronounced occiput. The occiput is at the back of their skull right here. You'll feel a lump if you put your finger inside the hair. There'll be like quite a prominent knob on the back. That's the occiput. It's the back of their skull. I'm not sure why poodles have such a pronounced occiput, what the function of that is, but if anyone knows, I'd love to learn that. And I'm just going to take my straight scissors now. So we've scissored from the stop. This is the stop. We've scissored from the stop back to the occiput, and now we're going to go from the withers up to the occiput, and we're going to meet here. So I've got my straights. I'm just tidying off the back of her mullet. Dusty, it's okay, darling. Oh, shh, shh. Good girl, good girl. She's got hardly anything on there. I just groomed Dusty 4 weeks ago, I think, or maybe 5 weeks ago. There's the occiput there. So the neck goes up to the occiput, and then we'll normally have a bit of a sharp spot where it meets, and we'll just blend that off. I'm working with such a small amount of hair. And that's it. And then her collar sits there. Mullet. Good girl. All right, tail and nails, and then we're finished. So back to the tail. Now, last time I did Dusty, I think we took her tail right off. She was having a nose to tail shave, and we didn't leave anything on there. What I recommend doing with the I was talking earlier about the docking, the practice of docking tails, and we don't do that anymore. So we've got, you know, these long tails, and then it's hard to make a ball because of the size of the tail. We want this to be short as possible so that we can make a nicer shape. If the tail was this long, we're going to have a really big, long banana shape sort of thing. The smaller the tail is, the more round we'll get. I'm going to put my thumb over the tip of Dusty's tail. Stop wagging. My thumb over the tip of Dusty's tail, and I'm going to cut this off with a 10 blade. I've got a 40 on, but you do it with your 10 blade. Now that's going to ensure that I don't have an accident with the tip of the tail. When you have a whole handful of hair like this, and you're sawing through a big lump of hair, you can't feel what's skin and what's hair, and it really, you're using force. I never want you to use any force with any of your equipment. It's unsafe. So you put a safe blade on and just take the end of the hair off that way. Okay, I've got my curves. I'm curving from the end of the shaved part. We're attempting a circle. We won't get there with this long tail. It's okay. But I'm going to angle the edge here. It's okay. Dusty. Shh, 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 shh. Good girl. Good. Oh, goodness me. Good girl. So we need to grow back quite a lot of Dusty's tail, so I'm not going to take length off the sides, but I will just angle the top. Dusty, come on. This is it, Dusty. Nearly finished. Shh. Good girl. I'm not going to go on the tip. It's ticklish, isn't it? There you go. That's a waggy oval shape, and it does balance out her top knot. So we've got a short top knot and a short tail. It kind of all ties in together. I'm going to give her a spray of cologne. I love poodles that smell pretty. What's this? What's this? Which one? This one. Okay. Little bit of cologne. Cut her nails and then we're done. All right, Dust. Good girl. Nail clippers. Dusty doesn't like having her nails done, but it's okay. This is a dew claw up here. It does need to be cut. Now, I'm just going to explain the anatomy of a nail to you. It's okay. Inside the nail, there's a quick, which has got blood flow in it. It's a vein. And then there's a dead end part, which is the nail. It's quite the same as our nail with the pink bit and the white tip. Now, it is hard to see on black nails where that quick ends. There's a few different ways that you can ascertain how it works. One way that I have found is really reliable is to have a look at the two different textures on a nail. Now, I don't know if the camera can pick this up, but what we have with Dusty is we have a shiny surface, a shiny thick surface down to about here, and then there's a change right there where my nail is. There's a change. I'm not going to cut on the white line because that will open up the vein. I'm going to give it a little bit of margin, so I'll leave a little bit of scratchy texture on. Shh, Dusty. I'll leave a little bit of scratchy texture on and just cut the shiny part. Now, Dusty, that was nothing. Shh, come on. A bit shorter, and I'll show you what we're looking for on the tip of a nail. Here's an example of the black dot that we're looking for. The black dot is the start of the vein in the nail. Now, I'll just show you the two textures. It's really easy to see on this nail. There's a scratchy matte surface here. It ends about there. And then we've got a shiny tip of the nail. I've cut not right up to the change. I've left a little bit of length on. I've cut, and now we have a black dot. So the black dot is the start of the vein. It doesn't have blood flow in it, but it's where it starts. This is what you're looking for. Now, if I cut any further with that nail, blood would come out. We would go into the vein. Done. Okay, thanks for your time today. Dusty's haircut's finished. We're just having some treats at the end of the groom to leave it on a good note. She's feeling pretty good about herself. Good girl, Dusty. She did a great job today. It was really hot. Good luck, everyone, with grooming at home. I hope I could help. Thanks. Bye.